Hi, how are you? My name is Graiguecullen and I'm from the Kilkenny Energy Agency. I'm just going to give a brief presentation on renewable energy. Kilkenny Energy Agency was set up by Carlow and Kilkenny local authorities and Carlow and Kilkenny Leader, and their objective is to provide sustainable energy information and services to the people of Carlow and Kilkenny, local businesses, the community and the local authorities. If anybody wants to contact the agency, the details are at the end of the presentation for anyone considering energy management, renewable energy projects in Carlow or Kilkenny. The areas I'm going to cover are hydro, wind, solar photovoltaics, solar thermal, biomass and geothermal. Hydro in Ireland we have 211 megawatts of hydro. Ardnacrusha would be our largest hydro site. When it was built in the 1920s, it was cost $5 million to build, which was a fifth of the state's entire budget for that year. So it was a fairly big project at the time. And then we have Turlock Hill, which is pump storage, which is approximately 292 megawatts of storage. In January 2010, Carlow Leader set out to do a project on Kilkenny's potential hydro power sites. This was coordinated by Jane Wickham from the Carlow Kilkenny Energy Agency. There was a number, 36 sites with hydro potential in Kilkenny. There was the large green ones are the 300 kilowatt hydro plants. Smaller ones are between 100 and 300 would be these ones here. And then the less than 100 kilowatts are these smaller ones here. The island of Ireland has a wind capacity at the minute of 2,025 megawatts. In the Republic, this stands at 1,640, and in Kilkenny, we have up until December 2011, we have 11 megawatts, with a further 15 megawatts projected in the planning stages for Kilkenny. This is the same wind energy development map that Katrina showed you earlier on. I won't go through it again. It's just the yellow is the open for consideration, and then the red is acceptable in principle. The ones currently in Kilkenny are in the south of the county. Solar photovoltaics. I got an email last week that there's a feasibility study at the minute for Sagart Reservoir in Dublin to cover the reservoir in 9,000 metres squared of photovoltaics. It's a fairly ambitious project, but they're looking for submissions and help on it at the minute and to see what the feasibility of doing it is. In Kilkenny, we have moderate amount of sunlight, 987 kilowatts per metre square per year on a horizontal surface. SAI done a case study on the potential for Kilkenny a number of years ago. And they found that the base load of the building is very important, so you'd have to have a fairly constant electrical demand. And an example of the leisure centre that they looked at, the base load of the building will be approximately 25 kilowatts on a summer's day and Monday. The max that day would go to 38 kilowatts, and the most we will get out of the PV will be 22 kilowatts. So photovoltaics, I think they have a long way to go with the efficiencies. need to be improved for them to become feasible. Solar thermal, we've all seen these. One of the newer types in the last couple of years is the thermodynamic panel, which operates in the reverse of your fridge. So it takes the heat from the surrounding air and heats the water for your house or your commercial or industrial company. Currently, the South East Regional Authority are putting together a biomass implementation plan. They have appointed a consultant to do some work on this, and the Kilkenny Energy Agency will be doing work along with them, along with Tipperary Energy Agency, the Wexford County Council, Waterford Energy Bureau. The main aim is to establish a structured regional framework to allow the region to comply with EU policy and to maximise the potential resource, to raise awareness and to increase the production and consumption of biomass. The Regional Biomass Business Development Plan was something the agency was involved in also, and that was to support the development of biomass in the South East region. Tipperary Energy Agency and Wexford and Waterford Energy Bureau were also involved in this. The Callan Renewable, as part of the RBBD, the Callan Renewable Supply Company was set up to supply wood chip to Callan Community Network, Camphill Network in Kyle, Callan, Jerpoint and Graiguenamanagh. This is just a quick case study on the Callan district heating. The purpose of it was to install or to have a centralised wood chip boiler to feed a network of pipes to supply heat to a number of buildings in the area. I think it's 5 altogether. And the end user then is billed on what they use. In terms of a development plan, I think district heating is something that has to be considered at an early stage for it to be developed, to put the infrastructure in place. This is an example of anaerobic digestion in Camphill community in Kilkenny. They have a centralised co-digestion anaerobic digester which mixes the farm slurry with the food waste. They have a combined heat and power unit to meet the demands of the 90 people living on the site. So they have an electrical load of 150,000 kilowatt hours and a heat load of 500 kilowatt hours. Geothermal heat pumps. This case study was something I was involved in Carlow. It's something I think should be considered could be considered in areas of Kilkenny as well. It was Graiguecullen swimming pool. We got a grant from the Department of Sport to install geothermal heat pumps, upgrade the installation, install a mechanical ventilation system and replace windows and doors. The geothermal, there's 4 42 kilowatt heat pumps. We have 10 150 metre geothermal boreholes. The temperature we're getting out of the ground is approximately 10 degrees and it's heated up to between 60 and 70 using a heat exchanger. For every kilowatt of electricity we're using on site, we should be getting between 4 and 5 kilowatts of heat. The current spend in 2011 was €80,000 on electricity and oil. So there's an approximate estimated saving there of 60,000. When you take into account the cost of the electricity will obviously go up. So we're hoping a payback of about 5 years. This was only commissioned We had a bit of problems with the ESB network supply, so it was commissioned last Thursday, so I don't have exact figures on this yet. That's the drilling rig for the geothermal heat pumps. The plant room is at the back. That's the old schoolhouse in Graiguecullen. There's further out in the front garden beside, or the front lawn beside the car park. So there's 10 altogether, 5 on each side. And then there's a centralised manifold that brings the pipes back into the plant room. That's just the pool itself. So it's used to heat the building, the central heating, the baby pool, the main pool, and then the mechanical ventilation system. The heat pump, there's a reheat is used off the heat pumps. The brewery site in Kilkenny could be a very interesting project in terms of renewable. I think a green ethos could be used, and we could consider geothermal heat pumps, which will be in the ground, and then all you have is the heat pumps in the plant room, wouldn't anything else seen. PV panels could be incorporated into the building somehow. Solar panels, combined heating power using biomass. And there could be other options as well that I haven't thought of that could be considered. Obviously, it depends on the use of the building, whether it be a university, a tourist attraction, or anything else. So, just my conclusions. The Kilkenny City and County Development Plan needs to promote the sustainable development of renewable energy. The use of both new and existing technologies should be considered. Sometimes we can be a bit scared to use some newer technologies, but it's trial and error. We can learn lessons from the past, or we can kind of spearhead and be an example to other county councils. So, thanks for your time. There's just the contact details.